Ladies and gentlemen, I want to use this opportunity to once again welcome you to the Lenny Robbins YouTube channel. This ought to be my part 2 to the follow my previous posting that was done on the 15th of this month. However, I should have done this a lot earlier, but it has taken me a couple of days to get back, work and all of that, intervene and all of that. Anyway, I want to jump right into it, and I have to change my part to focus here because Miss Mala, I listened to a speech made by Miss Marlene Mala-Ufort in Parliament in regards to the constitutional reform and the decision that came out of that reform commission, and also as it relates to dual citizenship. I say that because this takes precedent to exactly what I really want to say in my part 2. And I can do a follow-up on that some other time, but I must jump on Miss Mala-Ufort's speech as she made. If I got your name correct, Miss Mala-Ufort, that's fine. If I didn't get it correct and I stand to be corrected, no disrespect to you, because that's not the aim here, but I must comment on the things you said. I'm going to jump right into the constitutional reform first, because that's very important, even though it intertwines and overlaps with the constitutional, with the dual citizenship matter. I noticed in your speech, Ms. Mala-Ufort, that you said that coming out of the constitutional reform, no consideration was given to recall or impeachment. I know that I've made some comments earlier on in previous postings on this platform, and I mentioned about recall. It's something that we should have as citizens, as voters. We should have the right to recall. But you mentioned that no consideration was given to recall or impeachment in the constitutional reform. Well, that's it for the time being. That's what the law. That's what the law says. But again, Miss Mala-Ufort, I must say this: that in 1962, the drafting of the independence, when the drafting of the, was being done, we, the people of Jamaica, were hijacked. We weren't given any rights. We weren't given anything to have a say in our governance. All that was rest on you, the lawmakers of the country. And to this day, when I listen to your, 62 years later, when I listen to your speech, Miss Mala-Ufort, we were even further hijacked, because the right to decide how the governance of this country will be done was further bonded, further cemented by your speech and the Constitution, the Constitution, the Commission to really do, to not include the recall in your constitutional reform. And as you said, the reason for that, for no consideration being given to the recall, is simply because in any one election cycle, there can be 3-4 recalls, other elections, by elections that is. And that's what you guys are afraid of. Well, that's fine if you guys are afraid of that. I can understand the politician. This was a unanimous agreement, both from PNP and JLP. Because no JLP want to lose their seat. No PNP wants to lose it. And ladies and gentlemen, I want all Jamaica to recognize and realize this. Notice the one thing they agree on. Notice the one thing they agree on. No recall. And a recall means, for those who don't understand, that if a politician is not performing, we don't have to wait until election time comes down to vote out that politician. We can come together as people, as constituency, as people across the nation, and put together a signature list of a certain amount of people and fill out that recall form and have that politician removed from the constituency if he's not doing anything for the constituency. Now, Ms. Mala-Ufort and other politicians, both PNP and JLP alike, they are afraid of this because, as you say, they voted not to even think about it or include it in the constitutional reform, because they want to make sure, they're telling us, they are making sure that, one, they don't have an interruption between political cycle. There's no interruption. The only interruption must come not because of a recall, but because someone is so ill that he has to give up his seat, then they can have a recall. As someone who is caught with his hand in the cookie jar and then they decide to send him to prison, then they'll have a recall for that. But other than that, there's no recall. Each person, when once elected, has to remain there for the 5-year term. Good. And secondly, they are making sure that our interest in getting things on the ballot that gives us any inkling of autonomy as to the type of governance or how governance will be meted out, handed out down to us, they are making sure they erode that opportunity for us. They completely will delete that opportunity. We don't have access, we don't have the right, we don't have nothing. You understand? They are making sure that. So as it was in 62, it continues in 62, and she are making sure they cement that right. They have the sole right to determine the kind of governance we have. We don't have that right. We cannot in any way dictate that. So that's the recall. That's what recall is all about. She's worried about, the commission was worried about having 2, 3, 4 by-elections in between an election cycle. Now let us look at this. Which is more important? 2 election cycles to remove 2 non-performing politicians, or we live with a non-performing politician for 5 years, vote him out, and bring in someone else who does the same thing, non-performed. Here's why they keep it that way. They want to keep it that way so that they themselves can remain in office for that 5 years, basically. But if she's worried about the cost of these by-election, which is greater, the cost of the by-election or the cost of us as citizens or as constituents suffering the pangs of hell because of the non-performance of a politician, which is a greater cost to the economy, which is a greater cost to the GDP of the country, which is a greater cost to the government. They're retaining a non-performing member of parliament or a non-performing MP for the year, representative for a particular constituency, while we suffer the great, which is really greater here. Who are they really reforming the constitution to please? Themselves or us, the people, or the Jamaican society? Another thing I'd like to point out, Ms. Malawufo, just like any other politician, you have used the term Jamaican people, the people of Jamaica, as if everything that comes out of your mouth, every interest that comes out of your speech, everything you address is in favor of the Jamaican people. But I'm here to tell you, ma'am, that you said not one crop that has anything to do with the Jamaican people. Because I'd like you to tell me, how will the Jamaican people benefit from the absence of recall? How will we benefit from that? Since there's no recall was included in the Constitution and you guys made a decision not to, tell us how it will benefit. I noticed you didn't go into that. No elaboration was done on that. Just the fact that, well, there can be too many elections within an election cycle, or too many by-elections within an election cycle. The government is running away from that. So both parties is running away from that. But you're not highlighting the fact that it keeps the non-performing politician in place for 5 years, while we the people suffer for 5 years. You understand? But that's fine. We understand where you're coming from, because we understand that from the day we got independence, that we the people would be useful leaders for you guys. Secondly, let me embark on what we call impeachment. Now, this leads me now to ask a question, and question a few things. There's an ethics committee in Parliament, a bipartisan, made up of bipartisan membership, I do believe. So what the hell is this ethics committee all about if it has no teeth? Let us use the last Warmington situation, for example, where we said at the by-election, after the by-election, the last parochial election, no PMP is going to spend my money. What has the ethics committee done to Warmington? What punishment has Warmington received for that? Because he's in Parliament every day. You tell us, tell the nation, everybody jump up, oh, Warmington this, Warmington that. The Prime Minister make a big speech of firing Warmington. Warmington make a big speech that he was not fired. What the Prime Minister asked him to do, take a back seat, and what he wants him to do, he did not agree. He's not agreeing to do that. So it's either you pull out of politics completely or they keep him and things go on as normal. And that's exactly what happens. They'd rather keep him and things move on as normal. Everything is swept on the carpet, it's forgotten. Jamaican political memories is a 90-year wonder, so everything is forgotten. Ethics committee is there, nothing was done about Warmington. Everybody's saying, well, all the ethics committee commented on the issue when Warmington made a speech. Warmington shouldn't this, Warmington shouldn't that, and Warmington should be this, and Warmington should be... Jamaicans, we got to realize and wake up and watch what these people are doing. It's important for us now to really stop, look, listen, and learn, and watch what they do, because they're doing absolutely nothing that's going to benefit the nation. All these big speech, all these big plans is just to make themselves look good as party membership. Now, impeachment, there's no cause, no opportunity, no way, no nothing a politician can do in jails to be impeached. Nothing, because it's not in Constitution. So what they do? They move it out of the Constitution completely. It was not even there. They've not even had it to the Constitution. So let me ask a question to Ms. Malafoy. I need you to come out and tell us. I need Mr. Light Barnett, I need PJ Patterson, I need all experts, all these people with them big, brilliant brains. Even you, Ms. Malafoy, I do believe you have a law degree. So, and I think that is why you were chosen to give that speech. I need all of you guys to come out. Any one of you guys can come and tell the nation how the constitutional reform, as it is, as it was done, benefits the people of Jamaica. Tell Jamaican people how it benefits them, because you guys love to use the term Jamaican people and the people of Jamaica. Every two sentences you make, or you utter, it is followed by the Jamaican people or the people of Jamaica. So tell us clearly how the constitutional reform as it was carried out and done by you guys will benefit the Jamaican people. And I'm not talking about PNP or Labour, right? Because for you guys it's a party thing. And I can see from where the constitutional reform will benefit you guys as a party people. And benefits the party. And benefits politicians. But how does it benefit the people who depend on you to administrate the public policy in their favor so they can have a good quality of life? What is sad and sickening to hear you say, Ms. Malafoy, that when you went to Malawufort, that you mentioned in your speech also that when you go to your constituency and you look at the people and you see the needs of the people and everything and all of this, how your heart cries out that you have to work for the people. Who are you fooling, madam? You are not saying anything new. You're not saying nothing that was not said long years ago, 40, 50 years ago. Nothing that was said years ago. Even the day when the independence celebration was happening in Jamaica in 1962. If you go back to some of the speeches that were made, it was all about Jamaican people. So the government put on a big national thing and people jump up and people jump up and people this and all of that. Which now leads me to bring to the fore this discussion. Renouncing the monarch. Moving away completely from the monarch. Alright, let me ask the question. That's a great thing to do. But let me ask this. 1962, we were the 6th of August, our independence was declared. Were we really independent from Britain? And if so, in what way were we not independent from Britain? What were we enjoying all along? If we were not independent of Britain, what were we enjoying all along? Tell the nation. And in what way we were not? What were the ties? And what ties now are we breaking? What ties now are we severing from Britain to say that we are now free, emancipated from the British monarch? Tell the nation. Nobody's going into that. Nobody's really going into it. I hear people come on YouTube saying what Mark Golding want to remain in politics because he want to sell out Jamaica to white people, to British. But nobody's saying that Mark Golding was born in Jamaica. I don't hear anybody disputing that he was born in Jamaica. I don't hear anybody disputing the fact that he got his British citizenship by descent from his father. I don't hear anybody saying that his father was here trying to sell out Jamaica back to England. You understand? I don't hear anybody saying Jamaica bestowed a whole lot of honor on his father, Professor John Golding. Highly recognized, highly praised, and highly looked up to in the society. Did a wonderful work for Jamaica during his time. He was all along, he was a British citizen. Because he never had an interest in politics, no one said anything. But his son who was born here. And if you're born of a citizen, if you're born of a father is a citizen of another country, then you are automatically by descent a citizen also of that country. Does that in any way eradicate or erode your birthplace citizenship, your citizenship of your birthplace? Did Mark Golding choose to born in Jamaica? He had no choice. So the crap we're talking about, the Constitution said this and the Constitution said this. What we should be doing, reforming the Constitution to make sure that these people who were born in Jamaica of a parent or of a mother or a father of parents who are of a different, who have citizenship of a different country, they have a right to be a part of Jamaica at all levels of Jamaica's life. At all levels of the society, at all levels of government, at all levels of business, at all levels of our country. Because we're talking about birthright citizenship. But nobody wants to address that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the tomfoolery that these people are throwing at us as politicians. This is a smoke screen, this is a feel-good story they're always trying to pass off onto us and expect us to continue to absorb these things and be comfortable with it. We as Jamaicans now have to start to recognize, realize, and wake up to what is happening around us, because these people have no intention of changing the status quo for us. They're moving us away from Britain, fine, taking us away from our slave masters who used to have us in bondage, in chain. But they themselves have taken over. But they're not chaining us. They have not put us in chain. They're telling us that they're smarter than us, so they're using their brain. They're using their brain as to keep us in bondage, these politicians. They're keeping the country in bondage the way they want it, not the way it should be, not the way the people of the country should use it. And let me ask you something. Just ask yourself one question. I'm going to wrap up here because I haven't even gotten into part 2 of my previous video. But I'm going to wrap up here in the essence of time. Ask yourself a question, Jamaican people, and listen carefully to these politicians talk, and how every time they use a term, the Jamaican people, the people of Jamaica must know this is for the benefit of the people of Jamaica, this is for the benefit of the Jamaican people, this is for the benefit of the Jamaican society. And tell me how many times we benefit out of all those crap that they're talking about, benefit. Tell us, admit to yourself and tell yourself, ask yourself how many times you really benefit as the people around the society benefits. Right? All these big, massive plans they're telling us, people. Jamaica, as it is in an existential crisis. Even if we have the money to do what we need to do to get the country, to keep the country up and running, to keep the economy up and running, we are still in an existential crisis because the culture of our politics, the way we conduct the politics is rotten to the core. Really rotten, and it's going down. It's getting worse day by day. It's not getting any better. I read something where the Prime Minister made a speech, and I want to take off my cap to the Prime Minister for this because right is right, wrong is wrong. You said something about the fake news, sir. And fake news is really taking over in Jamaica. It's spreading like wildfire. But you must also understand that the YouTube platform that a lot of people like myself is using is also an opportunity to create sensationalism. And people sensationalize a lot of stuff. People will sensationalize a lot of stuff because when they say sensationalize it, it brings attention to their channel. It brings attention to their thing. People use all Christian songs for what them comment. People use all kind of things for do all kind of thing, all kind of pictures. Have you crying? Have this man crying? Have this man's all sort of stuff. When a people put up a headline, when a person put up something on their YouTube page, Damon Crawford have the Prime Minister wrap up. People's gonna jump to it. People gonna hear what it says, wanna read, wanna say hear what he's saying. What has he done to the Prime Minister? What he said about the Prime Minister? So you have to understand also that, Mr. Prime Minister, because there's hardly anything you can do about it legally. But I think where the answer lies is now, because I noticed nothing has been said about preparing Jamaica for the new technology that is here, AI, artificial intelligence. And that can mimic even me as I'm sitting here. That can mimic me. Someone can use AI and mimic me tomorrow, my picture, my everything. You understand? And they can mimic the very background that I'm, everything about me. My voice, my everything. And this is where your answer should be focused, Mr. Prime Minister. But it's good that you raise the alarm and start to look at it. You need more politicians like yourself and on both sides of the fence. We need a bipartisan effort to speak out against these things. And start to look at some of the things people are putting out there on YouTube. It's all about making money for them. It's all about, so they're going to sensationalize all of that. You understand? And say things that is not so. And then you have people in the society who will believe that crap. Because they're not thinking that that's the way the politicians want it to be. Even yourself, Mr. Prime Minister, is a purveyor of that kind of attitude in the country. You say things, we twist things, because you want the people to believe certain things. And not until you guide this side truly and honestly to be transparent, to be accountability, and to be honest most of all with the Jamaican people. The people who vote for you, the people who put you there. Nothing's going to change. And this is why I'm calling. I'm saying this again. Every video that I put out there, I've mentioned it. Jamaica, 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 home and abroad. We need to wake up. We need to stop, look, listen, and learn. Because we have to watch what these politicians do. You understand? We have to watch what politicians do. Even the diaspora meetings there a couple of days ago in Montego Bay. How successful was that? How successful was that? How successful was that meeting? What's the consensus coming out of the meeting moving forward for Jamaica? Ladies and gentlemen, listen. We can't afford to be wasting any time anymore. And I've always said we are the people who suffer, not the politicians. So it's important. It's very, very important for us to really start to put our foot down and make our voice be heard. Miss Mala, who Ford can say anything she want to say. Leave out recall, leave out impeachment. But that's not the end of the matter. She can say what she wants to say because she's not speaking for the people. She's speaking for her party. She's speaking for the politicians. PNP and JLP, that was a bipartisan consensus agreement between them. Leave that out of the constitutional reform because that's necessary. That's going to get us in trouble. We won't be able to do what we were doing and continue to do what we're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. Lenny Robbins, Know Your Politics. We're just trying to create a better understanding. Stop, look, listen, and watch what we do. Wake up call. This platform is getting hotter. It's getting hotter. We got to start studying the book of rule. Because from 1962, looking back to now, we have too many rivers to cross. Too many. So politician, treat the youths right, that they will be putting up a fight. Treat the youths right, you playing with dynamite. Lenny Robbins. Watch what they do. Know your politics. Creating a better understanding. Ladies and gentlemen, blessed Monday evening to all Jamaicans all over. Wherever you are, home and abroad. All my friends in Jamaica, all my friends abroad. Blessings to you all. Now remember, watch what they do. Lenny Robbins Show. See you next time. Thank you.